Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Here I am at home in my, in familiar surroundings, my YouTube studio. All the usual stuff is where it's meant to be. I'm only home for one day, so I thought I'd just jump in and do a quick episode. These two chairs are here because I anticipate having two guests one day. If you could use the comment section to suggest guestage, I'm thinking Robert Smith and Chapel Rowan, and we can just have a heated musical debate, or talk about AI or whatever. But today I'm not going to do that. Today I'm talking about Deep Fried Sunshine. I'm going to be reviewing it. It's a track by Deep Fried Sunshine. It's a little bit like what's a good example of that? When somebody sang a song that was the same name as the band. No, can't think of one. There must be one though. Well, Killer Queen's nearly that, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Taken from their debut album, Gold Transmissions. They should have called the album Deep Fried Sunshine, so it would be the song Deep Fried Sunshine by Deep Fried Sunshine from the album Deep Fried Sunshine. I've mentioned their work before in my reviews because their artwork adorns my living quarters at my brother's place when I'm recording with the darkness, and it's garnered some interest in the comments and from other musicians. I'm not going to name any names, but Christian has intimated that someone very, 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 very famous has reached out and saying that they appreciate his work. So that's really cool. I'm going to do the theme tune. I've just realised my guitar is all the way over there, so just give me 2 secs. Look, here I am. In my suit. Justin Hawkins rides again. Yeah. All right. Just gently place that there. I'm going to hold it. Yep, I'm going to hold it. So, Deep Fried Sunshine is a collaboration between Christian Fleetwood McCabe and Dan Hawkins. That's my brother. So this is going to be a completely impartial. I might slag it off just because. Dan is, of course, my younger brother. He and I have been working closely together on the Darkness album, but just before we started on this creative journey, he was recording with Christian. And Christian Fleetwood McCabe is the crispy batter to Dan's soft centre in Deep Fried Sunshine. His previous work includes playing guitar in the Glasgow-based band The Bison Family, but he also was in the River 68, who we took on tour, and I think it was him and his brother, and they were just sort of two guys with guitars, super talented, amazing voices and playing. Yeah, but he's a great songwriter, a producer, and an academic, and he's currently investigating the use of AI in music. I'd like to interview him, I think, because he's terribly interesting. He and I actually discussed the Higgs boson particle. He had some interesting theories about that may have been informed by the 7 pints of lager that he'd just drunk. But he's an interesting guy. Gold Transmissions is the debut album by Deep Fried Sunshine, and it came out in July. It's been described by Christian as a musical exploration of the relationship between the west coast of Scotland and the west coast of America. He went on to explain how the idea came to him after hearing fellow Scots, the Trash Can Sinatras, drawing parallels between Glasgow and California. They said Glasgow is on the westerly point of Europe, the same way that California is on the most westerly point of America. So we share the same horizons. We all see the sunsets and vast swathes of water. It's full of hope, and it's this geography that spills over into the music. Us from Glasgow, could be considered Western music. And Chris went on to say that he and Dan made the record in celebration of this. Deep Fried Sunshine is the title track from the album, and I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to tell you whether that really, 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 very, 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 very famous person is onto something. So here we go. Deep Fried Sunshine. This is the single edit, and as you know, I'm very fond of a single edit. Again. Okay, so it's something like this. There's a riff at the beginning which is kind of something like that. But it sounds super jangly, and then when you look at the video, you can see that he's playing like a Rickenbacker there. Funnily enough, he's left that in the studio, so it's still. We've got access to it for the Darkness sessions, and it's tuned in a really interesting way. So this is a 12-string, and if you look at the way a 12-string is laid out, you've got like an E, but there's two of them. They do exactly the same thing, and then same with the B. And then the G has a high version and a low version. And then there's an octave between the D, the A, and the E. And the way that Rickenbacker's set up there, he's only got the high ones as opposed to the low ones. So I think he described it as a Nashville tuning. And I don't know, when you just play that over the top of a regularly tuned guitar, it gives it that sort of 12-string thing, but it sort of flams in an interesting way because there's two performances overlaid, you know? So I think there's an ostinato happening as well, because that riff seems to repeat while the chords change underneath it. Let me just check. Yeah, so like... So it goes from D, G to A, and then does some other interesting stuff before the singing starts. But with that riff playing over the top of it, and the relationship between the notes and the chords changes, keeps you guessing, but the tune itself stays the same, so you've got something to hang your coat on. Really nice. Oh God, it's awesome. I love that chord sequence. So you think it's just going to be a D, G type thing, then it gets really interesting. So it sort of pedals between the G, D, G, D, then something interesting happens. Then it goes to an A7, I think. Oh God, it's really cool. So it goes A, E minor, and then it goes to a B minor, and back to that A7, and then it's the riff. Masterful. I forgot that Dan played drums on this. That's awesome. Dan started off as a drummer and then went on to bass and then became a guitar player. So he can do all of it. And on the next Darkness album, you'll hear a song on one of the editions where Dan actually gets to sing, and he's got a beautiful voice. In a way. No, thing is, I think Dan sings with. He's got like some sort of Brian Johnson kind of shred in his voice, but sometimes he ducks out of using it, and so you'll hear him sort of go for like a high note and then sort of back out of it when he realises it's too difficult and go an octave down. But once he's figured out the patterns, he's actually got a really nice voice. My heart will go. My younger brother Daniel Francis Hawkins, multi-instrumentalist and vocalist. So planes collide, reminds me how I could convince myself that I've been standing. I told myself into, babe, I wanna be with you, but I'm just deep fried sunshine. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more classic chorus than that. Deep fried sunshine. Really satisfying. But played on some sort of chromatic percussion. I've noticed that chromatic percussion, I have to say that really clearly, because when any sort of AI tries to translate what I'm saying, they always get that wrong. Chromatic percussion, which means something that you hit that creates a note. I know that horse only too well. I hear it clomping around some mornings when I'm doing my daily ablutions. Because I sleep right next to it in a stable a lot of the time when I'm working on records. Don't you think he's got a lovely, unique voice? It's such a sort of tight sounding kind of, I don't know, it's how can I describe that? It's kind of crisp and tight. It reminds me of, don't know, maybe it's unique. It's got something though. And when he's talking about staring at the ceiling and hating himself, we've all been there, haven't we? You know, it's lovely. And there's some great bass playing on here by Andy Shillito as well. Awesome. It's a lovely E minor, A major, but with a 7 in there, I think. As a little drop out. Cool solo. That's like folk music. It's kind of like folky in the way that, you know, what's that band? Big Star is folky in that sense, you know. Some of that's a little bit like listening to Mike Oldfield, isn't it? It's great. Why is there a chicken in the studio? Unbelievable. Health and safety, guys. I mean, if you're listening to that and not loving it, there's something wrong with you. Come on, guys. I don't want this channel to be something where we're joylessly chasing the algorithm and sort of covering things that are already huge. It's nice to actually shine a light on stuff like this, which is done by really talented people. Christian McCabe, of course, this isn't an impartial review, but you've got to say that's an awesome song. Yeah, I love it. Great stuff. Well done, Christian. See you next time you're lecturing at CERN, and perhaps we'll get you on for a discussion about AI. What do you think? You know where I am. Give me a shout. Get my number off Dan. All right, nice one. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Watch one of these 2 videos. Listen to Deep Fried Sunshine and tell me what you think. Nice one, guys. See you later on. All right. Yeah. Okay.